Okay, so here's my second part to my first run through the secret world with Lanyard. Um, and we last left Lanyard. He was in a drug state. Some psycho doctor drugged him up. And this is his dream world. Basically, it's going back to when this whole mess began. So you are basically in the memories are being put into your head of this girl named Sarah. So when they keep calling Sarah, that's who it is. So the starting is just kind of an intro to how the game works. You know, picking up how to pick up missions, how to move around, how to pick objects up. I'm going to skip through this. There's a bunch of videos that have the whole thing on YouTube. But basically, this is a mission, and this is how you click on it. The little mission icon above the head of the NPC, and then you accept it and you go on. So here, yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I have been enjoying what I have been playing. So this is how you pick up items. Your things that you can interact with will turn yellow. As you can see it in the tutorial part, it automatically puts in your abilities so that you don't have to go through all the hard details. It's a very simple, straightforward tutorial. You can't see it, but behind that locked gate, somebody's being chewed up, killed. So, like I said, I'm going to edit through this, and because it's pretty long, but it basically goes through the basic tutorial setup. So I'll let you watch a little bit of that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and skip forward to the end when you come out of it. The tutorial shows you how to cast heals and do mass AoE effects and stuff like that. So he's coming out of his little dream state, and the doctor's chatting with him.
Well, yes. Look it up sometime. Hey, you better haul ass to the test chamber. Jump through a few hoops. Oh, and you may be feeling some discomfort from the microchip that I grafted to your spinal column. No worries, though. I mean, it's gonna fade, really. And as your doctor, I'd caution you, strongly caution you, don't try removing it, okay?
Okay, so when you can react with NPCs, they'll have an icon above their head, whether you can talk with them or get missions from them. This was just a chat, and you can this is basically your conversation with your NPC. You can ask them different questions and stuff, and they respond. This game has a lot of puzzles in it, and so I'm guessing that some of the answers that you get from these NPCs might actually help you further down the line with some of the puzzles that come up. So this is just kind of a brief overview of the different things you can chat with this doctor specifically about. And now I'm going to go over to a merchant. The merchants don't have icons above their head. They do show up on your mini-map. But anyway, so here's opened up a window. Obviously, I have no credits. I can't buy anything. This apparently is the main hub for the Illuminati. It's got a bunch of merchants in here to buy different items. You can set up the merchant window the same way as most MMOs, by price or by what you can afford. And this is just another look at the different merchant here. And as you can see, it's all red. I can't afford anything. I've got 0 credits. I don't even have weapons yet.
Last call for Denver International Airport.
Okay, this is a real brief overlook of the character customization character window, you might say. I'm not customization, but character window, and it's got some custom. It's got titles and different things that you can look at, your stats and your factions and so on and so forth. It's got a window for setting up, I'm guessing, different gear sets depending on how you set up your character, and of course your clothes, the closet, you might say. I might add a little more detail to that in a future episode, but right now this is just kind of a brief overview of the different things. Up ahead, you'll see there's a little kind of upside down house that kind of guides you to where it's like your GPS. Again, items that you can interact with are are outlined in yellow. Watch out for that type of stuff because some of it's really small and it's not very bright. So just keep an eyeball out for it. Now you've moved on to the training area where you can learn how to use different weapons. And when I was playing it this time, I didn't realize at first that you can practice with every weapon, see what's your style. Real quick, see how the windows are staying open? They will stay open. Even if you walk away from them, they're still open. So you have to click on them again to get them to close or accept. And that's for any of the windows that you pop open, the NPC windows, whatever. So here I am. I'm going to pick up, I believe it's pistols, and I'm going to try out the pistols. And when you pick the pistols up, it'll in the tutorial, it'll automatically give you some, shoot, I forgot what they're called. I'm going to, for not remembering what the word is, but it'll give you some gear that'll go well with whatever you're using. So you can, there it is. So you go through and put that on, and then go through, and they're just basics, obviously, lights. So you can try every weapon, see what you like. They've got range weapons, hand weapons, there's magic, all sorts of stuff. So then you go up to the tutorial holograms, and you basically use your abilities. And as you use your abilities, you actually gain ability points and skill points. And I don't really explain it that well, so when the skill point and ability point window pops up, I'll just go ahead and let the in-game tutorial video explain it to you. So there's a ability point, there's a skill point.
Welcome to the Council of Venice Digital Archives and your online guide to surviving the secret world. The Ability Wheel. This is the Ability Wheel. The Ability Wheel is where you will train new abilities. Abilities are trained using ability points. You get additional ability points by gaining experience. When your experience bar reaches a threshold, you will receive a new ability point. As you train new abilities, you can drag these onto your ability hotbar. There are two types of abilities, actives and passives. Active abilities are triggered using keyboard shortcuts, or by clicking the icons on the ability hotbar. Your passive abilities are automatically activated when equipped. Active abilities are linked to weapons. You must equip the correct weapon in order to use your abilities. You can equip 7 active abilities and 7 passive abilities simultaneously, along with 2 weapons. Keep an eye on your ability point counter. When you have new points available, you can train new abilities and expand your skill set. For more information on the Ability Wheel and abilities in general, please access the Council of Venice archives.
Okay, as you can see, that explains it really, really well, and it's great. It's got a wonderful in-game videos and help menu that I've seen so far. So this is your ability wheel. As the thing said, you can put your points in however you want. And then what it didn't explain was there's these decks, and decks would be kind of like cookie cutter setups for tank, for healers, for DPS, and different ways that those work with magic and pistols, for instance, or hand weapons and a sledgehammer, and so on and so on. And when you set it up for specific abilities, it sets up little points along the wheel. And as you fill in the points and you get the icons filled up on the bottom left over there, you'll actually achieve that deck. And then you can, as you fill in the wheel in the future, eventually I'm guessing you'll have the entire wheel filled. You'll be able to switch out different decks and it'll automatically put in the abilities that go well with that deck, which I think is great. It's interesting. It's a real helpful way of kind of guiding yourself instead of just kind of randomly picking stuff and hoping for the best. And then, of course, for each ability that you pick out, or each skill set you put for each weapon and each level, it opens up new abilities for that weapon, new attack abilities, and new passive abilities as well. And then, like the video said, you can equip 2 weapons, so you'll have your different abilities for each weapon set up. Again, like it says, you only have 7 abilities that you can use at any given time. Of course, obviously, you can go through and change your abilities depending on the situation. I'm guessing that's probably what something on that character window is for. And of course, if you have multiple decks, you have multiple abilities, multiple roll sets, which could be interesting. You could be a tank one mission and a healer the next, depending on what decks and how many ability points and sets you have. It's really, really cool. So this is just me kind of looking through the different decks, and then I will be moving into the skill tree as well, and showing that. So another thing, for each, there's 3 factions in the game, if you didn't notice that. You have the Illuminati, the Dragons, and the Templars. For each faction, they have different names for these decks, for each deck. So you might be a warrior in one, whereas you're a Zen master in the other, and then you're a whatever in the other. They have different. And I'm guessing that they're pretty much all the same type of, class, but they just have specific names for each faction, which is cool. I'm really hoping the video's coming out clean on this. I never can seem to get it to be clean, so hopefully you can actually see the wheel and see some of the abilities. If not, I'm sorry, you'll have to look for it when you play the game. Or find somebody that's got better video recording than I do. Okay, here you can see that you can search through your abilities. You can search by specific. You can set up different ways to have the search window set up and look for your different abilities. If you're looking for a specific ability, and it's kind of just a laundry list of the abilities, and so it's a helpful little search window. By the way, when you're doing this part of the game, the learning how the different weapons work for you, each time you pick up a new weapon and try it out, it resets the ability points and skill points, and gives you a whole new set of gear that fits that particular weapon, the weapon's abilities. So when you're going through, I highly recommend that you try each weapon, look at the different skill sets, find out what works best for you, what you like. If you like the in-your-face melee or the standoff and shoot guns, or magic casting abilities, healing abilities, and so forth. and that way you can find out what you like the best. And of course, you can intermingle the two as well. So you can, like I said before, you can have magic with pistols, or magic with a sword, or sword with a sledgehammer, or sledgehammers with pistols, or high-powered rifle, and blah, 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 blah. All sorts of fun things. And then, of course, there you can see that they have miscellaneous skills as well that you can set up for improving your self-being, I guess you could say. Like an overall stat ability.
Welcome to the Council of Venice Digital Archives, and your online guide to surviving the secret world. Character skills. This is the character skill interface. You can train your weapon and talisman skills using skill points. You receive a new skill point when your experience bar fills up. Every weapon has 2 different skill paths. These will vary based on weapon type, although damage is always one of the 2 paths available. Distribute your skill points in order to focus on a specific playstyle. The higher your weapon skill, the higher quality weapons you can equip. You will also need to put skill points into your talisman skills in order to equip higher quality talismans. Whenever you see the skill point icon, make sure to open the character skill interface in order to distribute your new points. For more information on character skills, please access the Council of Venice archive.
Okay, that was a quick overview on how to set up your skills, and like it said, you can go through down one skill set, or you can mix the two. You can get a little bit of healing, a little bit of damage, or whatever. So when at the end of the tutorial, you go over here and you pick up this little cell phone that finishes up your tutorial. Now, when you've picked your final weapon, that's what you're going to start out with. So when you enter into the real world, so to speak, that's the weapon that you're going to have. Those are the abilities that you're going to have, and so on and so forth. So make sure before you leave that you're going to be happy with that first. You can only pick one at the beginning, so make sure you're happy with that. So now we're going to go into the world, and now how to get around the world, because it's planet Earth in some bizarre future, is you go into the center of the world, which is called this Argatha, and here in a second, I'm just going to let the cutscene play, because the conductor, you might say, does a really good job of kind of explaining what Argatha is, or Agatha, or whatever. So here is that part.
Hello? Yes? Now this is the Hollow Earth, Agatha. I do hope you're not here for the local service. It's running somewhat tardy. By my watch, it's 100 years overdue at 1/4 the hour. Judging from the cut of you, you're more of a world traveller. Well, you've come to the right place. Now, this underground realm, like the great British rail system, is the very model of efficiency. Agatha's thoroughfares sprout from the Tree of Life and connect back to the surface. Distance and time bend in here. Why, you can cross the globe in a brisk walk. Now, of course, it's perfectly safe. No one's entirely sure how it works. Quite bedeviled, the science boffins, but I'm assured they have their top men on it. Top men. Now, you'll need one of these. Mind your fingers. Thank you. Fascinating devices. Fortunately, there's still enough to hand out like sweets. Consider it your anchor to the Hollow Earth. It can return you here in a flash, proverbially and quite literally. Well then, onwards to the New England coast, what?
What he gave you is kind of like in WoW's version of your Hearthstone. And these big robots are kind of handy too, because they're, again, a WoW reference. They're like the guards. It tells it if you're looking for a specific place to go, it'll point it out, and then as you can see, it'll put it on your map, and you'll be able to direct yourself towards towards whichever portal you want to go to. And each portal will bring you to a different part of the world. So London or Seoul or wherever, Bangladesh. In this case, I'm going to somewhere in Maine. I forgot the name of the place, Kill House or Kill something, anyways. And then, of course, you go through the portal, and it zips you down the tree branch to the next portal. You can actually physically walk down the branches. You just have to make sure you make a wide berth of those little portals on the other side. And then, of course, I pick up another lore object, which is always handy. And so anyway, this is it. I'm going to go into town now, and then we'll finish up. I will make up part 3 and start actually killing stuff. And I hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to part 3. So there it is.